Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is divided into two. If you look at the contents of Bhagavad Gita and the title of the first chapter, it's mentioned as, if you look at the contents of Bhagavad Gita and the title of the first chapter, it's mentioned as, yeah. So, first chapter is the observing the armies assembled. So that's the first part of the chapter. And then the second part of the chapter is Arjuna's doubts. He says he's not going to fight. So these two are very important two sections. So we'll learn each section one at a time. So these verses 1 to 27 is section A. So Sanjaya informs Dhritarashtra that both armies have assembled, and the conch shells are blown. First, Bhishma blows the conch shell because Duryodhana is not very optimistic. He is trying to instigate Drona, saying, "Oh, your disciple, the Drishtadyumna, is the commander-in-chief of the Pandavas, and he is the son of your enemy, Drupada." So he's trying to instigate or provoke his own spiritual master. And he thinks he's a great politician because he can um, make a sense of anger in the minds of the fighters so that they will fight hard and they won't side with the Pandavas. At this point, the first commander in chief of the Kauravas is Bhishma Dev. He's the oldest and the greatest fighter, and only when Bhishma Dev is stops fighting, that's later in the war, then Dronacharya comes in. Um, so that's the first 13 verses. 14 to 19 is Krishna and Arjuna and the Pandavas all blowing their conch shells. And then Duryodhana's heart gets shattered hearing the sound of all the conch shells. So who can say what is the conch shell of Krishna called? Starts with a P. Pancha Panchajanya.
Padya, right, Prabhuji?
Panchajanya. Yeah. So Krishna and Arjuna, they blow the conch shells, and then all the Pandavas blow their conch shells, and that shatters the heart of Duryodhana. Because conch shell is a accessory of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So blowing the conch shell actually symbolizes victory of good over evil. Then Arjuna requests Krishna to draw his chariot between the two armies to observe the warriors on the other side. And then when Arjuna sees all his relatives on the other side, he is full of doubt. So that part comes in the second section, like the doubts coming. But the first section ends with Krishna taking the chariot in between the two armies. So we'll just go deeper into each of these. So the first verse that we just read, it is telling about Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya, and he already knows Kurukshetra is a place of religion or righteous activities. So he is very full of anxiety and he's full of fear because he knows Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is on the side of the Pandavas. And the Vedas are recited at the place of worship. And this Kurukshetra is a very auspicious religious place. And then Pandavas are righteous. because they always stand on the side of truth and goodness. So, they only people who are righteous will win in a place where righteousness is favored, right? So if you go to a bad place where bad things happen, you know that bad things will happen. But if you go to a place where only good things happen, you know that uh, goodness is favored there. So that's why Dhritarashtra is full of fear when he says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. That those are the first words of Bhagavad Gita. Um, and he also is worried because Bhishma and Drona on the side of the Kauravas, they are actually saintly. They are in goodness, but since due to their duty, they had to fight on the side of the Kauravas. So he feels that they may not fully favor the Kauravas, though they are fighting for Duryodhana. They might not be, um, you know, fighting as good as they can because they really love the Pandavas. And Dhritarashtra is also worried that they might just, not fight at all. Okay. And then we already discussed about Dhritarashtra talking about Pandavas and Kauravas, my sons and Pandu's sons. So that shows his ignorance. Okay, so those are the key points. And then verse 2 is Duryodhana approaches Dronacharya, who is his guru, and he tells his guru, "Your um, so your um, student itself is the commander in chief of the other army, and who is that student?
Drishtadyumna.
Yes, very nice, Sri Hariji. Yes, Drishtadyumna. When who is Drishtadyumna? He's the son.
Drupada.
Yeah,
And
son
the
of
fire
Drupada.
of Draupadi.
Yes, and brother of Draupadi. Yes, and Draupadi is the wife of the Pandavas. So, Duryodhana intentionally calls Drishtadyumna as the son of Drupada because Drupada and Drona have some enmity. We discussed about that story last class. So the point here is he thinks Duryodhana is a great politician and a diplomat. So he wants to bring up points which makes the other person feel bad, so that they will fight very hard. And he also mentions to Dronacharya, it's your own student. So why did you even, teach a student who's going to fight against you? So he's trying to instigate Dronacharya to fight hard. So both the Pandavas and Kauravas were both trained by Dronacharya. But Dronacharya had to fight on the side of the Kauravas because of his duty that he would protect the Hastinapur. And this time, because Pandavas had gone to the forest after the gambling match, the kingdom was with Dhritarashtra and the Kauravas. So he had to, he was forced to be on that side. Okay. This is just telling us about the armies in who have assembled. So in the Vedic times, the armies was measured in terms of akshahunis. So we can see the breakup of these akshahunis. It's actually starting with a smallest unit of soldiers called Patti, and Patti has one chariot, one elephant, and the elephant rider, three horses and soldiers riding the horse, five infantry soldiers. Those are foot soldiers who are on their foot with a weapon, like like a sword. And then the person who's the leader of that is Patipal. And then if you see, three such patis will make a Sena Mukham, and three such Sena Mukham will make Kulman. And as you can see that as this this gets bigger and bigger, it becomes an Akshauhini. And if you see, the number of chariots in an Akshauhini is 21,000 Akshahunis, 21,000 chariots, 21,000 elephants, 65,000 610 horses, and then 109,350 infantry soldiers. So a person who is leading that is a Mahasenapati.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I think everything is going with a multiple of 3.
Yes, very good observation.
So like 9 threes are 27, and then 27 threes are 81, and then 81 threes are 243, and it
Mhm.
keeps going on.
Yes, until Anihini, and then from there it becomes 10 times. So 10 Anihinis makes a Akshahuni. So you see here it's 218 times 10 is
Oh,
2187.
it's just adding a 0.
Yes. So all the rest are three times that will have a leader. And so do you remember? So you see how big the army is. And so how many Akshahunis did Duryodhana have? This is just one Akshahuni. So how many did Duryodhana have? Or the Kaurava army have? They had 11 Akshahunis, see here. So 11 Akshahunis were there in the Kaurava side, and Pandava side only had 7. And the commander-in-chief was Drishtadyumna in the Pandava side, and in the Kaurava side, initially it was Bhishma, then all of these persons came later, but at this time it's only Bhishma at the time of Bhagavad Gita. And this is just showing the might of the warriors. Even if you see, Arjuna is similar to 60,000 warriors, and on the Kaurava side, there were 4 such warriors who are equal or better than Arjuna: Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Ashwadhama. So when you look at this, you feel that, oh, clearly Kauravas are going to win this war in terms of military might, because they have bigger army, they have more great warriors. But the one thing missing for the Kauravas was what? One person changed the whole equation.
Krishna.
Krishna, Hari Bol. So whoever the Lord sides with will always win, even though materially it looks like they cannot win. Uh, they will win because they have the Lord on their side. They're fighting for the Lord. So the Lord has unlimited energy, and he will give that to whoever is on his side. That's what we learn from Bhagavad Gita. So Duryodhana then, from verses 4 to 6, starts describing the great warriors on the Pandava side, and he brings up Bhima and Arjuna, Yuyudhana, Virata, Draupada. We also already discussed. Yuyudhana is Satyaki, who is um, Yuyudhana is a Yadava warrior. He is on. He wants to be on Krishna's side, but there is another person called Kritavarma who is also a Yadava warrior, but he sides with the Kauravas because he is um, the chief of the Narayani Sena, and Krishna had told that the Narayani Sena can fight with Duryodhana, because when Duryodhana and Arjuna came to Krishna, Krishna asked Arjuna, does he want his army or does he want just Krishna, who will not lift a weapon. And Arjuna took Krishna, but Duryodhana was happy to take the army. He thought the army was greater than Krishna without weapons. But he was wrong because Arjuna knows the Lord, whichever side the Lord is, will win. Okay, so on this Pandava side, these are the other warriors mentioned. Last week we discussed about Virata, Drupada, and Yuyudhana. We did not discuss about Drishtaketu. So Drishtaketu is actually the son of Shishupala. So anybody remembers who Shishupala is when we discuss Mahabharata?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So who killed Shishupala in the Rajasuya Yagya of Yudhishthira?
Krishna.
Yes. So Shishupala was a relative of Krishna, but he was always, envious of Krishna. And Krishna told Shishupala's mother that he will not kill him until he does 100 offenses. So he actually, you know, said 100 offenses against Krishna, and then Krishna had killed Shishupala with his Sudarshana Chakra. But his son is still siding on the side of Pandavas. So, which means that the son understands that Shishupala was the wrongdoer, and he's on the side of the Pandavas. So, Drishtaketu is siding with the Pandavas. And Chekitana, these are minor characters, but great warriors. Chekitana is the grandson of Kunti's sister. Um, there is Kashi Raja. Kashi Raja is actually the father of Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. We know they are the wives of, they were the girls who Bhishma had taken from the Swayamvar and brought them to Hastinapur so that Vichitravirya can marry them, right? So this is their father. So because of that, um, because they were not really happy with Bhishma, is probably why they are fighting on the side of the Pandavas. Then there is Purujit and Kunti Boja. So Kunti Boja is the father of Kunti, um, and Purujit is a brother. So they are on the side of the Pandavas. Shaibya. Shaibya is a descendant of Shibi Maharaj. Anybody remember Shibi? Is a great king of righteousness. He's the king who, when an eagle and a dove were fighting, and the dove came to the king and said, "Let me please take shelter of you." Um, the eagle said, "This is my prey. You have to give me the prey." But the king said, "Don't worry, I will just give you some meat from my body." So he cut the meat. But the dove, when he put on the other side, was always heavier. So he was going to cut off his head so that the eagle can eat the same weight um, as the dove. And then it was actually Brahma and Shiva who was testing Shibi Maharaj, right? So he's known for his great humility and righteousness, just like Harichandra, we know from the scriptures, is also considered very truthful, full of integrity. So this Shaibya is a descendant of Shibi Maharaj, and he's also the father-in-law of Yudhishthira, right? So Yuddhamanyu and Uttamauja, they are two kings who takes care of Arjuna's two sides. Chariot are taken care by Yuddhamanyu and Uttamauja. So now you know when like everybody mentioned in the verses of Bhagavad Gita, you can relate to all of them because we learned Mahabharata before, and all of them have a story. And Do you know the son of Subhadra? It's not sons, there's only one son that's mentioned here on the Pandava side. He's the father of Parikshit, who is son of Subhadra.
Abhimanyu.
Yes, very good. Abhimanyu. And who are the sons of Draupadi? They're also called Upa Pandavas. So Draupadi has a son with each Pandava. Yudhishthira has a son. Bhima has a son, Shrutasoma. So each they're called Upa Pandavas, and these were the five sons that Ashwatthama killed, thinking they are Pandavas after the war when at night to because he wanted to avenge Duryodhana being killed or wounded by Bhima. He came in the night to kill the Pandavas, but he unknowingly killed the sons and took their heads to Duryodhana to make him feel good. But Duryodhana touched the head and said, "Oh, these are little and the sons." And he was very unhappy with Ashwadhama. So these are the sons of Draupadi who were fighting in the Pandava side. Okay. So then we go to the Kaurava side, the great warriors there. We all know Dronacharya, Bhishma, Karna, Kripacharya. Kripacharya's sister Kripi married Dronacharya. Kripacharya is one of the warriors who did not die in the war, including Ashwadhama. Then there's Vikarna. Who knows who is Vikarna? So Karna is there. We know Karna is actually the brother of Yudhishthira, but he
I
doesn't know.
think Karna's son or something.
Good guess, but Vikarna is actually a brother of Duryodhana. So Duryodhana, Dushasana, then Vikarna. He's like the third brother in the age. There are 100 brothers, right? 100 Kauravas. So this is the third eldest is Vikarna. And Vikarna has one good thing he did. Anybody knows? He's not like Duryodhana, Dushasana. He was the only one who was telling his brother, don't disrobe Mother Draupadi. He was the only one there saying, this is anartha, you shouldn't do this. So he was the only slightly righteous person in the Kaurava side. Then there is Sauna Datti. This is Somadatta's son. So we discussed this last class. Burishrava is the son, and Somadatta. They were both killed by Satyaki in the later in the war, but they also a great fighter. And then we know Jayadratha is the one who was trying to take Mother Draupadi away while they were in the forest. And then the Pandavas had captured him, made cut his hair in a bad way, which is like as good as death, and then let him go. And then this is the same person who goes to Shiva and got a boon that he can stop the Pandavas, and so the Pandavas cannot go and help Abhimanyu in the Chakravyuha because of Jayadratha. So the important person. Kritavarma, we already discussed. He's actually Krishna's army, and Shalya is actually the uncle of Akula and Sahdeva, his Madri's brother, but he was tricked by Duryodhana by giving him a lot of welcome. He said, "Oh, I'd love to fight with you," and then he found out, oh, he's actually fighting against his nephews. So Shalya. So these are the great warriors mentioned in the Kaurava side. So he then tries to ridicule the Pandava side. We saw how the Pandava side only 7 Akshavinis, and then Duryodhana in verse 10 says, "Oh, this my army is aparyaptam, meaning it is immeasurable or unlimited because it is protected by Bhishma, the commander in chief." And on the other side, he says they are protected. Pandavas are protected by Bhima, who is insignificant compared to Bhishma, and he's limited. So this is what he thinks. Again, he's actually full of insecurity, so he's trying to prove to himself that he's better and he's going to win the war after uh, after speaking to Dronacharya, etc. So then Duryodhana is requesting his army to always support Bhishma, and because he was praising Bhishma. He's a politician. He wants to make everybody feel good to fight for him. So he was mentioning that Bhishma, though he's the greatest warrior, uh, we should all support Bhishma because he's the commander in chief. So then that's when Bhishma takes out his conch shell and starts blowing the conch shell, hoping that Duryodhana will feel better and confident. But actually, he was just showing that, defeat is imminent for the Kauravas because the conch shell is actually representing Lord Vishnu, and wherever Lord Vishnu or Krishna is, only will win. So then Krishna and Arjuna blow their conch shell, and wherever so Krishna is referred to as Madhava. Madhava means husband of Mother Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. And then of course the chariot of Arjuna and Krishna was given by Agni, and it's capable of conquering all the three worlds. So these were the reasons why victory was certain for the Pandavas. And these are the names of all the conch shells they mentioned. Krishna Panchajanya, Arjuna Devadatta, Bhima Poundra, Yudhishthira is Ananta Vijaya, Nakula Sughosha, and Manipushpaga Sahadevas. And Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in verses because Rishikesha means the Lord of the senses. So if we surrender to Krishna, he will make sure that we are not going behind our senses. So usually we are running behind what is good to smell, what is good to taste. But if we give Krishna, if we surrender to the Lord, because he is the Lord of all the senses, Hrishikesha, he will be able to give us the right direction. So these are different names of Krishna and Arjuna mentioned in chapter 1. Krishna means all attractive. Rishikesha means master of senses. Madhava means husband of Mother Lakshmi. Achyuta means infallible one, a person who does not make mistakes. Madhusudana is killer of Madhu demon. Govinda, who gives pleasure to senses or cows. Vasudeva, son of Vasudev. Devaki Nandana, son of Devaki. Yashoda Nandana, son of Yashoda. Partha Sarthi, charioteer of Partha or Arjuna. Keshava, killer of Keshi demon. Janardhana, maintainer of all living entities. Then the name of Arjuna is Dhananjaya, who is a master of wealth. Partha, the son of Pritha. So actually, Kunti Devi was called Pritha before she got the name Kunti. She's actually the daughter of Surasena, Vasudeva's brother. But Surasena gave Pritha to Kunti Boja as to adopt and raise her. So that's how she got the name Kunti. So Gudakesha is another name for Arjuna. The person who has conquered ignorance or sleep is called Gudakesha. And Vrakodara is Bhima's another name. He means person who eats voraciously and then who does like big tasks, Herculean tasks. Okay. So then the blowing of the conch shells of the Pandavas, they really shattered the heart of the Kauravas. So then Arjuna prepared to fight and he asked Krishna to please take the chariot to the middle where the armies have assembled so that he can see who is on the side of the Kauravas. So we see how the Lord has taken a very inferior position of just a driver for his devotee, and he's just following the order of of Arjuna. So this is also like a summarization of why victory of Pandavas were imminent, and it's because Krishna was present on the Pandava side. Wherever Krishna is present, Mother Lakshmi is present. Mother Lakshmi is the goddess of fortune. There are some materialists who are always wanting money, so they pray to Mother Lakshmi to give them a lot of wealth. But they don't understand that Mother Lakshmi is wherever Krishna or Vishnu is. So that's why we pray to the Lord, and the Lord will take care of everything because Mother Lakshmi will be there where the Lord is. And since she's the goddess of fortune, the fortune favors the devotee. And the venue is Kurukshetra, like we discussed. Only holy things happen at a holy place. Then we discussed last class that Hanumanji is on the Arjuna's flag. And Hanumanji, we know today is Lord Ram's appearance day, and Hanuman was fighting on the side of Lord Ram, and there's only victory that can happen. When Hanumanji went to find out where Mother Sita is, nobody could restrain him. Ravana tried to, set his tail on fire, but then Hanuman set the whole Lanka on fire and came back after delivering the message to Mother Sita and then also bringing a ring back to Ram. So Hanumanji is always victorious because he is the servant of the Lord. He is always wanting to serve the Lord. Then the conch shell, like we discussed, is always bringing victory. And then Krishna and Arjuna's conch shells are said to be divyam. Divya means above the three modes of material nature. They are spiritual or transcendental. So with their conch shell, when they blew it, it's clear that the victory will be Pandavas. And then Bhishma's conch shell was only to pacify Duryodhana, like the baby gets a pacifier, so that the baby doesn't cry. So it was not really for any victory, but Duryodhana was feeling good when he heard his commander-in-chief Bhishma blow the conch shell. Then Agni Deva's chariot could conquer all directions, and then everything starts with the heart. Like where intention is, action flows. So Duryodhana's heart was already shattered hearing the Pandavas blow their conch shell, which means his confidence is low, even though he had a big army and he's going to lose. Yes, so then verses 21 to 23, Arjuna calls Krishna Achyuta, meaning he never makes mistakes, he never fails, because he never fails in his affection for his devotees. One important thing we should know is, you know, in history, if you see, there are areas where the son went against the father went against the son, the mother went against the son. So there are so many instances But can you even find one instance where the Lord ever went against his devotee? It never happens. He's always there to protect his devotee. That's why he's called Achyuta. So that's why we should make Krishna our foundation and always, have the Lord as our go-to person. That's why we pray to him. And when we are grounded and we have a foundation of Krishna consciousness um, or devotion to the Lord, nothing can affect us. We'll be full of no bravery and no fear because the Lord is on our side. So we also see that the Lord is willing to take a lower position to be with his devotee, like he did with Arjuna. So he likes to serve his devotees. His devotees like to serve him. Okay. Then Arjuna wanted to see the armies on the other side, and he wanted to see who was siding with this evil-minded Duryodhana. So it is said that birds of a feather flock together. So the Kauravas, uh, everybody citing the Kauravas were in ignorance because they were on the wrong side. So when it gives us what we need to do, when we have choice to be on the good side or the bad side, we should always choose the good side. So then Krishna draws the chariot in the middle of the two armies, and what does Arjuna see? He sees father figures, teachers, friends. So all these great persons who he grew up with, well-wishers, like Shalya is his uncle and well-wisher. Um, he had friends, like Ashwadhama was his guru's son, and he was great friends with him. And his maternal uncle Shalya, the brothers and sisters, all the Kauravas are his brothers and sisters, like Vikarna, Duryodhana, actually, just like his brother. And he saw all these personalities who he and we'll quickly complete section B and then go to the Kahoot quiz. So then Arjuna's legs and hands started trembling. His mouth started to dry up, and he said he doesn't want to fight. So you can see here his limbs start to quiver. Quiver means it's trembling. He's seeing all these personalities and he has to kill them. And he said, "Oh, I don't want to do this." His mouth was drying up, his whole body was trembling, his hairs of the body was standing on end. His hands, his Gandiva was slipping away from his hands. He had taken a vow that anybody who makes him drop his Gandiva, he'll kill. And now he himself is his his bow is slipping away. His skin is burning. His legs are becoming weak, and he's sitting down, and he's forgetting himself. His mind is going here and there. He cannot focus because his heart is saying, "Don't fight, don't fight." And he can only see misfortune coming. So this is the situation where after seeing all the armies, he decides that he will not fight. Um, okay. So these are the reasons he says why he doesn't want to fight. He says if the superiors are killed, then the dynasty will get destroyed. Then the families will get destroyed because all the men who are fighting, if they die here, then the family, there'll be widows and the children will not have father, and then they won't follow the rules. They will not come up as good citizens. The woman who doesn't have a husband, they might be taken away by bad people, and they'll become polluted. They when they have kids with those bad people, they'll get bad population because they're not following any rules. It's called Varna Shankara. A population that does not follow righteousness is Varna Shankara will happen, and all kind of community projects and welfare activities will all get devastated. And this is actually what's happening in Kali Yuga. Nobody follows any rules. Everybody is in it for themselves. They want to, exploit others. And that's what's happening. And Arjuna is saying this will happen if he fights. And Krishna will actually give good reasons in the future chapters when we discuss that why he should fight. And from this situation where everything he gives up fighting, he stands up and fights. And we are going to find out in the next class how how Arjuna changes his mind to fight. So these are the saintly qualities of Arjuna. He's soft-hearted. He did not want to kill for the exchange of the three worlds. He's ready to forgive his aggressors, and he doesn't want to kill them. Uh, so he was thinking of the results of the war and risking the obligation to fight. He's saying, even if I give up my duty, at least if all these people won't die, I think that is better. Um, yeah, he's even pushing away his Gandiva because he's willing to die when he's unarmed. Let them come and kill me is what his mind is saying. Yes. So then he threw his bow to the side. He sat on the chariot and he gave up. So we will discuss that all in the next class, how the Lord takes each point, like his point about compassion, and God, Krishna gives him why it is the compassion is misplaced. Then he says, I don't want to win the war and enjoy the riches. And Krishna gives a good explanation of why that's not true. And for the destruction of the family, Krishna gives the right reason why he should still fight. Um, and he's afraid of all the karma that will come from fighting, and Krishna refuses that with these verses, second chapter 33 to 37. And then so his indecision will all go away, and we'll discuss that in the next class. So are you all ready to do the Kahoot? Okay, so let's. So it's similar to the topic for last class. So there's some repetitions, but we just went a little deeper this class on the topics. Okay, the game pin is 812965. All right, Nitinji and Shreyaji have joined. Anybody else joining?
Prabhuji, Shriyari is joining. He just took my dad's phone.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, Narayan has joined. Yes, Deepak ji has also joined. So can we start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari bol. Okay, we are going to go fast today. Okay. Okay, what shatters the heart of Duryodhana? Bhishma blowing his conch shell, Krishna and Pandavas blowing their conch shell, Pandavas having 7 Akshauhini army, Pandavas having commander-in-chief. Yes, so it's Krishna and Pandavas blowing their conch shell shattered his heart. Why was Dhritarashtra fearful of the outcome of the war at a place of Dharma? Krishna is present on the Pandava side. Pandavas are righteous. Kauravas are irreligious. All of the above. Yes, very good. All of you got it right. Excellent job. Okay. How do we know Dhritarashtra is in the bodily conception of life, material consciousness? He distinguished between his sons and his brother's sons. He's speaking to Sanjaya. He's physically blind. He did not fight the war. Yes. Always thinking I, me, mine is the nature of material consciousness. Okay, how do we know Duryodhana is provoking his teacher Dronacharya to fight? Pointed mistake of Drona teaching Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna is the commander in the Pandava army. Drishtadyumna refers to as son of Drupada. All of the above. Yes, all of the above is the right answer. He didn't say Drishtadyumna to Dronacharya. He brought up all the other points that he is the son of his enemy. And okay, who was Chedi king Shishupala's son who was in the Pandava side? Yuyudhana, Virata, Drishtaketu, Drupada. Yes, Drishtaketu is the right answer. We discussed that in class. Who was the grandson of Kunti's sister who was on the side of the Pandavas? Chekidana, Yuyudhana, Virata, Drishtaketu. It's actually Chekidana. So Drishtaketu, Chekidana mentioned in the verse. Who was the father of Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika who was on the side of the Pandavas? Chekitana, Drishtaketu, Kashiraja, Balika. Yes, it's Kashiraja. Okay. Who was Kunti's father and brother who fought for the Pandavas? Krishna and Pradyumna, Krishna and Balrama, Pandu and Nakula, Kunti Boja and Purujit. Yes, very good. All of you got it right. Who was the father-in-law of Yudhishthira and descendant of great Shibi Maharaj on side of Pandavas? Yudhana, Kunti Boja, Shaibya, Yudamanyu. Shaibya. Very good. So now all of you will remember when you read these names in the first chapter, all of these persons have a story. Who were the kings protecting Arjuna's chariot? Yudamanyu and Uttamauja, Nagula, Sahadeva, Bhima, Yudhishthira, Yuyudhana, and Abhimanyu. Yes, Yudamanyu and Uttamauja. Okay, who was the Kaurava who had opposed the disrobing of Draupadi? Duryodhana, Dushasana, Vikarna, Dushala. Yes, Vikarna. Dushala was the sister of the Kauravas. Duryodhana did not oppose. He was actually the one who made Dushasana pull the robes of mother. Okay. Duryodhana says dash protection is limited while Bhishma's protection is unlimited. Arjuna, Krishna, Bhima, Drona. Yes. What is the meaning of the name Achyuta? One who doesn't make mistakes, infallible, owner of senses, husband of Lakshmi, son of Vasudev. Yes. Infallible means the one who doesn't make mistake. Owner of senses is Rishikesha, husband of Lakshmi is Madhava, son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva, the names. Okay. 14th question. What's the meaning of the name Gudakesha? Winner of wealth, son of Pritha or Kunti, son of Pandu, one who conquers sleep or ignorance. This is a name of Arjuna, actually. Yes, Gudakesha means one who conquers sleep or ignorance. Why does Arjuna think it is sinful to fight the war? Reaction for killing family members, fighting to get back kingdom by killing, family will be destroyed, all of the above. Yes, all of the above. Second last question. What happened to Arjuna's limbs on thinking of fighting his relatives? Started to tremble or quiver, became strong, started growing muscles. Yes. Last question for today. What happened to Arjuna's mouth? It started salivating, drying up, full of snacks, toothache. Yes, it started drying up. So next week we'll see how Arjuna's mindset changed. Let's see who's on the podium. Third place goes to Shreya ji. Second place goes to Narayan or Srihari. And first place goes to Nitin ji. Congratulations. All of you are winners who played because we are all here to learn. And this is just a fun activity to learn, right? So congratulations. See you all next week. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Happy Ram Navami. वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हरि बोल जय
Hari
श्री राम हरे कृष्णा
Jai